In Lagos, nobody waits for you. Not the Danfo drivers yelling for passengers before the sun even rises. Not the traders already arguing over prices in the half-light. And definitely not the city itself. If you slow down, Lagos swallows you. Amara learned that early. By 4:30 a.m., she was already awake. The room she shared with her younger brother was small, the walls slightly cracked from years of heat and rain. A thin mattress lay on the floor, and beside it, a plastic basin filled with tomatoes she had sorted the night before. She sat up quietly, listening. The steady hum of a generator outside. Distant voices. A rooster that crowed like it had something to prove. Good. The city was waking. She tied her wrapper, splashed water on her face, and began her routine without hesitation. There was no time to think, no time to complain. Only movement. Always movement. By the time the sky began to lighten, Amara was already on the road, balancing a tray of fresh produce on her head with the kind of precision that came from years of practice. Her steps were quick, deliberate, weaving through early traffic like she had memorized the rhythm of the streets. Because she had. Every turn, every shortcut, every delay. She noticed everything. The truck that arrived late yesterday. The woman who suddenly raised her prices. The man who bought in bulk but paid in cash. To others, it was just market noise. To Amara, it was information. And information, she had learned, was more valuable than money. By 6 a.m., the market was alive. Voices clashed in every direction. Fresh tomatoes. Come and buy. Madam, I will give you good price. No, that one to cost. The air smelled of pepper, sweat, fried akra, and dust. It was chaotic, loud, overwhelming. But to Amara, it made perfect sense. She set down her tray and began arranging her stall. Tomatoes first. Always the tomatoes. She placed them carefully, adjusting each one until the display looked full and inviting. Bright red against the dull wood of her table. Presentation mattered, even if people thought it didn't. A woman approached almost immediately. How much? Amara didn't rush her answer. She studied the woman's clothes. Her bag. The way she glanced at other stalls before stopping here. Nigerian Naira 500 for this basket, Amara said calmly. The woman scoffed. Too much. Amara shrugged slightly. Go and check others. The woman hesitated, then sighed. Okay, give me. Amara handed over the tomatoes without a smile, collected the money, and moved on to the next customer. No wasted motion. No wasted words. To anyone watching, she was just another market girl trying to survive. But if you looked closely, you would notice something different. She wasn't guessing. She was calculating. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher, pressing heat into every corner of the market. Sweat gathered on foreheads. Tempers rose with the temperature. But Amara remained steady, watching, listening, learning. 2 stalls down, a trader complained loudly. My supplier didn't come today. Everything is delayed. Another chimed in. Same thing yesterday. These transport people are useless. Amara didn't join the conversation, but she heard every word. And she remembered, because patterns were forming. They always were. Around noon, the market shifted. Not quieter, never quieter, but different. A sudden stir. Heads turned. Voices lowered slightly. Then came the sound. Engines. Not the rough, coughing engines of Danfos or Okadas. Smooth. Controlled. Expensive. Amara didn't look up immediately. She continued arranging her peppers, pretending not to notice. But her ears sharpened. The convoy pulled up just outside the market. 3 black SUVs. Clean. Shiny. Out of place. That's when people started whispering. Who is that? Some big man. I heard he owns that import company. Amara finally looked up and saw him. Tund Adebayo. Even if you didn't know his name, You would know his type. Everything about him said money. From his tailored suit to the way he stepped out of the car like the ground belonged to him. Dark sunglasses, polished shoes, confidence that bordered on arrogance. He didn't walk into the market. He entered it, like he was inspecting something beneath him. People made space without being told. Traders straightened up. Some forced smiles. Others simply watched. Amara observed quietly. Not impressed. Not intimidated. Just curious. What was someone like him doing here? Tund walked through the narrow path between stalls, his nose slightly wrinkled as if the air offended him. "This is what you're telling me," he said to the man beside him. "This is your distribution center?" The man laughed nervously. "Sir, this is where most of the city's fresh produce comes from." Tund shook his head. Unorganized. Inefficient. No structure. His eyes scanned the market like he was already planning to replace it. Amara felt something tighten in her chest. Not anger. Recognition. She had seen that look before. People who thought they understood everything, without seeing anything. She turned back to her stall, focused. Until impact. A sudden collision. Her tray tilted. And before she could react, tomatoes scattered across the ground. Rolling. Bursting. Staining the dust red. The market gasped. Amara froze for half a second, then quickly dropped to her knees. "I'm sorry," she said instinctively, reaching for the fallen tomatoes. But then she saw the shoes. Black. Polished. Expensive. Now stained with juice and dirt. Silence spread. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Slowly, she looked up. And there he was. Tund. Looking down at her like she was something unpleasant he had stepped in. "Do you even know how much these shoes cost?" he said, his voice sharp enough to cut through the entire market. Amara's hands tightened slightly around the tomatoes. "I'm sorry," she repeated. But he wasn't listening. "You people," he continued, gesturing vaguely around, "always careless. No order. No discipline." A few people shifted uncomfortably. No one spoke. Amara kept gathering her tomatoes. One by one. Calm. Controlled. But inside, something was changing. You bump into someone and you think sorry is enough. Tund went on. "This is why nothing works here." A quiet laugh came from somewhere in the crowd. Then another. Amara heard it. Every single one. Still, she said nothing. "You people will never change," he said finally. "That's why you stay poor." That one landed. Hard. The laughter faded. Even the air felt different. Amara stopped moving. Just for a second. Then slowly she stood up. Not fully. Just enough to look at him properly. Their eyes met. For the first time, he really saw her. Not as a blur. Not as background. But as a person. And something about her gaze made him pause. There was no fear in it. No pleading. No shame. Just stillness. Observation. Like she was studying him the same way she studied everything else. Tund frowned slightly, uncomfortable for reasons he couldn't explain. Then he scoffed. "Clean this mess," he said dismissively, stepping around her. And just like that, he walked away. The convoy followed. The noise returned. The market breathed again. But Amara didn't move immediately. She remained there, standing in the middle of the scattered tomatoes, watching him leave, memorizing everything. The way he spoke, the way people reacted to him, the way he carried power like it was his birthright. Then she slowly bent down and picked up the last tomato. Cracked. Useless. She turned it in her hand, then dropped it aside. Around her, life resumed. Voices rose again. Customers returned. The moment passed. To everyone else, it was nothing. Just another incident in a busy Lagos market. But to Amara, it was something else entirely. Because in that moment, she understood something clearly. People like Tund believed power came from money, from status, from being seen. But they were wrong. Power came from something else. Something quieter. Something hidden. Something she had been building, piece by piece, day by day, right under their noses. Amara wiped her hands on her wrapper and stood up straight. Her stall was messy, her tomatoes reduced, but her expression, unchanged, calm, focused, certain. She adjusted the remaining produce and called out to the next customer like nothing had happened. "Madam, coming by, eh." But deep inside, a decision had already been made. And as the sun burned over Lagos and the city rushed forward without looking back, Tunde Adebayo had no idea. He had just insulted the one person quietly learning how to control everything he thought he owned. In Lagos, survival is loud. People shout to be heard. They fight to be seen. They hustle like the city is a race that never ends. But real power is quiet. And Amara had mastered silence. If you asked anyone in the market about her, they would say the same thing. She's hardworking. She minds her business. She's just trying to survive. No one would say she was dangerous. No one would say she was building something. And that was exactly how she wanted it. 3 days after the incident with Tunde, nothing on the surface had changed. Amara still woke before dawn, still arranged her tomatoes with care, still bargained with customers like every other trader. But beneath that routine, things were moving. At exactly 5:15 a.m., while most traders were still setting up, Amara stepped away from her stall and walked toward the back of the market, away from the noise, away from the crowd. There, behind a row of wooden sheds, a man leaned against a faded truck, chewing on a stick of sugarcane. "Late again," he muttered without looking at her. "I'm not late," Amara replied calmly. "You're early." The man smirked. Same thing. His name was Sadiq. Transporter, driver, occasional smuggler when times were hard. Unreliable to most people. But not to Amara. Because Amara didn't deal in trust. She dealt in patterns. And Sadiq, for all his flaws, had one consistent pattern. He always showed up when there was money to be made. "You brought it?" she asked. Sadiq jerked his head toward the truck. "Fresh from Ogun. Better than what you'll find anywhere in this market today." Amara walked to the back of the truck and pulled open the door. Crates of tomatoes. Bright. Firm. Clean. She inspected them quickly, picking one, pressing it lightly between her fingers. Satisfied. "How many crates?" she asked. 20. Amara nodded. "Next time, bring 30. Sadiq raised an eyebrow. "You planning to feed the whole of Lagos?" Amara closed the truck door. "Something like that." By 6 a.m., her stall was stocked. But not just her stall. 2 other traders nearby suddenly had fresh supply too. Then 5. Then 8. None of them asked too many questions. Because in Lagos, if something works, you don't question it. You just follow it. At first, it had been small. A favor here. A connection there. Amara remembered the exact moment it started. A year ago. A farmer she met by accident. She had been traveling back from the outskirts of Ogun State after a failed attempt to buy cheaper produce. Her money had almost run out. Her patience too. That's when she met Mama Iridi, an older woman, standing beside baskets of tomatoes no one seemed interested in. "Why is nobody buying?" Amara had asked. Mama Iridi sighed. "Middlemen say my price is too high, but if I sell lower, I lose everything." Amara had looked at the tomatoes. They were better than anything in Lagos. Fresher, richer in color. "Sell to me," Amara said. Mama Iridi laughed. "Can you buy everything?" Amara hesitated, then said something that surprised even herself. "Not today, but soon." That soon became a plan. Amara returned the next week, then the next. Each time, buying a little more. Each time, learning. Who supplied seeds? Who transported goods? who controlled access to markets. And more importantly, who took the biggest cut? Middlemen. Always the middlemen. They inflated prices, delayed deliveries, controlled access, and everyone depended on them. Everyone except Amara, because she started doing something different. She connected directly, farmer to trader, no middle layer. At first, it was risky. Transport was unreliable. Roads were dangerous. Trust was fragile. But Amara didn't rely on hope. She relied on structure. Back in the present, she stood at her stall, watching as customers gathered. Her prices were slightly lower than others. Not by much. Just enough. Always just enough. A woman leaned in. "Why is yours cheaper?" Amara smiled faintly. "Because I don't like stress." The woman laughed and bought 2 baskets. Simple, efficient, intentional. Across the market, whispers had started. Where is she getting her goods from? How is hers always fresh? Is someone backing her? Amara heard everything, but she never answered, because the truth was bigger than they imagined. By midday, her phone buzzed. A simple message. Delay on Ibadan Road. Amara read it once, then typed quickly. Use the old route. Call Musa. She didn't panic. She adjusted, because delays weren't surprises. They were variables, and she had already calculated for them. Her network wasn't just people. It was information. Sadiq handled transport from Ogun. Musa controlled an alternative route through a smaller road few drivers used. Mama Iridi coordinated farmers in her region. Ngozi, another trader, helped distribute excess supply within the market. None of them saw the full picture. Only Amara did. To each person, it felt like a small arrangement. A favor. A business deal. But together, it was a system. A growing one. Meanwhile, in a glass building miles away from the chaos of the market, Tunde Adebayo sat at the head of a long table. Air conditioning hummed softly. Screens displayed charts and projections. Imports have increased by 12% this quarter, one of his managers said. Good, Tunde replied. And local competition? The manager hesitated. Still fragmented. No real structure. Tunde nodded. That's the problem with local markets. No coordination. No leadership. It's easy to dominate. He leaned back in his chair. Confident. Certain. In 5 years, he continued, we will control food distribution in the city. Around the table, heads nodded in agreement. No one questioned him. No one doubted him. Because from where they sat, it looked true. But back in the market, reality was already shifting. A young trader approached Amara's stall. Auntie, can I buy from your supplier? She asked nervously. Amara looked at her briefly. What do you sell? Pepper. Can you handle 10 baskets tomorrow morning? The girl blinked. Yes, I can. Amara nodded. Come by 5 a.m. The girl's face lit up. Thank you. Amara said nothing, just turned back to her work. Another connection made. Another piece in place. As the sun began to set, the market slowly started to thin. Traders counted their earnings, packed their goods, complained about the day. Amara sat quietly behind her stall, writing numbers in a small notebook. Quantities, routes, costs, adjustments. Her handwriting was neat, precise. Every detail mattered, because every detail told a story, and Amara was learning how to read it. Sadiq returned just before closing. You were right, he said, shaking his head. That other route saved time. Amara didn't look surprised. Of course. He studied her for a moment. You're doing something, he said slowly. I don't know what, but this is not normal market business. Amara closed her notebook. Do you want to keep making money? She asked. Sadiq grinned. Always. Then don't worry about what you don't understand. He laughed. Fair enough. Night fell over Lagos. The city didn't sleep. It never did. But it changed. Lights replaced sunlight. Music replaced shouting. Deals continued in different forms. Amara walked home alone, her step steady, her mind active, always thinking ahead. Because what she was building wasn't finished. Not even close. Far away, in his high-rise apartment, Tun stood by the window, looking out at the city lights. Legos stretched endlessly before him. Alive, restless, full of opportunity. He smiled slightly. To control Legos, he murmured, you control supply. It sounded simple, logical, certain, but somewhere in that same city, Amara unlocked her door, stepped inside, and sat down beside her sleeping brother. She looked at her hands. Rough, tired, but steady. Then she whispered softly, no, not in doubt, but in quiet correction. Because Tund was wrong. He thought control came from visibility, from dominance, from being known. But Amara understood something deeper, something he couldn't see. Because while he was building an empire everyone could recognize, she was building one no one could detect. Not yet. And as Legos moved through the night, unaware of the shift happening beneath its surface, one truth was already taking shape. Slowly, silently, unstoppably. Tund Adebayo believed he was preparing to control the city. But he had no idea. The system he planned to dominate was already being rewritten by a girl he once refused to see. The first sign was easy to ignore. A delayed truck. In Lagos, that meant nothing. Traffic could hold you hostage for hours. A broken-down Danfo could block an entire road. Rain could turn highways into rivers. Delays were normal, expected, forgettable. But Amara didn't forget anything. At exactly 6:40 a.m., her phone buzzed. A message from Sadiq. We're not moving. Amara stared at the screen for a second longer than usual. Then she typed, why? The reply came almost instantly. Bridge collapse. Ibadan expressway blocked. Everyone stuck. Amara went still. Around her, the market was already waking up. Voices rising, traders calling out, customers bargaining. Normal. Too normal. But inside her mind, something had shifted. A bridge collapse wasn't just a delay. It was a disruption. And disruptions changed everything. She stood up immediately. Ngozi, she called. The woman looked over from her stall. What is it? How much stock do you have left? Ngozi frowned. For today. Enough. For tomorrow. A pause. Not much. Amara nodded slowly. Then she turned away and began dialing. Across Lagos, the news hadn't spread yet. People went about their day as usual. Buying, selling, complaining, unaware. But by mid-morning, the cracks began to show. Where is the truck? One trader shouted. They said it's coming, another replied. You said that yesterday. I'm telling you what I was told. Voices rose. Tempers flared. Phones rang endlessly. But the answers were all the same. Delayed. Stuck. Not moving. Amara stood at her stall, watching it unfold. Exactly as she expected. Panic didn't start loudly. It crept in. Quiet. Subtle. Then all at once, it exploded. By noon, prices had started to climb. Not drastically, just enough to make people uncomfortable. Why is this 700 Nigerian nairas now? A customer demanded. Transport cost has increased, the trader snapped. But yesterday it was 500 Nigerian nairas. Do you want it or not? The customer hesitated, then paid. Because what choice did she have? Amara said nothing. She didn't raise her prices. Not yet. She just watched, counted, calculated. Because this wasn't the crisis. This was the beginning of one. Miles away, inside a temperature-controlled office, Tund Adebayo was irritated. Not worried. Not yet. Just annoyed. What do you mean the shipments are delayed? He asked sharply. His manager shifted uncomfortably. Sir, the expressway is blocked. Our trucks can't move from the port. Tund frowned. For how long? We don't know yet. That answer didn't sit well with him. Reroute them, he said. We're trying, sir. But every alternative road is congested. Tund leaned back in his chair, thinking, adjusting, because in his world, problems had solutions. Always. Fine, he said finally. Release existing stock. The manager hesitated. That will only last 2 days. Tund waved a hand dismissively, then fixed the problem in 2 days. Simple, efficient, solved. Or so he thought. Back in the market, Amara made her move. At exactly 1:15 p.m., she stepped away from her stall again, phone in hand, mind focused. She called Mama Iridi first. How many baskets do you have ready? Amara asked. Plenty, the older woman replied. But no transport. Everyone is stuck. Amara nodded. I'll handle transport. Be ready by tonight. She ended the call and dialed another number. Musa. A gruff voice answered. I need the old road. Silence. Then, that road is bad. I know. Drivers don't like it. I'm not asking what they like. Another pause. Then a quiet chuckle. You've been planning for this, haven't you? Amara's voice didn't change. Yes. By evening, Lagos felt different. Heavier. Tense. Word had spread. Supplies weren't coming. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow. And suddenly, everyone cared. Markets became crowded. People bought more than they needed. Just in case. Because in Lagos, you don't wait for a problem to happen. You prepare for the worst. Give me 3 baskets. Madam, limit is 1. Who made that rule? I did. Arguments broke out. Pushing. Shouting. Desperation creeping in.